Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday. Happy hump day, y'all. So, yesterday, I had a lot going on, and I did a bunch of footage, which you'll probably never see, because I'm good that way. Anyway, so this morning, I had to be in, roughly about 10 and a half hours after I clocked out. So it's now 2:05 in the morning. And I am on my way up to another plant. Do their shit. Not excited. Anyway, because I got a feeling it's going to be that big job. And they just did 800-something yards yesterday, and everybody was about to lose it. Anyway, so while I was waking up, getting my daily dose of YouTube to get my brain going, I came upon a post from Jacob Whalen, and if you don't know Whalen, he is in Kentucky. He's just a content creator, not an influencer by any means, but I ran across him on accident. Probably clicked the title because he had described and kind of went into detail how he conducted his life in order to be able to establish retiring at the age of 41. I'm like, that's pretty fucking impressive, right? He retired at like 39, 40 years old. Anyway. Java. Love it. Anyway, and, you know, I like his nuance. He's calm and composed, and he doesn't have a potty mouth like me. So I like listening to people who, you know, have a little bit of conformity that keeps my balance in check. Because everyone knows I cuss like a sailor. And I'm an F-bombing queen. So I was sitting there thinking about something that he said. I mean, the last couple of ones that he's come up with, I wanted to do a little bit of a take on them anyway. Just to kind of not just reiterate, but confirm. No, dude, you are not crazy. It is, I've been, predominantly this year, something I started to feel the energy shift. In the winter when we were having all that cold weather, unusual cold weather. It was like fear of the half-inch ice storm kind of anomaly that we get down here. And it was kind of shell-shocking. Not so much ringing the bell, but just your soul starts to feel it. Something's off. Something's off. The energy's off. Like, and I kind of could feel it last year, but it wasn't conscious. I wasn't conscious in recognizing, you know, and he's like, maybe it's an intuition. It's not an intuition. There's definitely a shift in the atmosphere, in the vibe of our universe right now. Everything just seems weird. He had gone on about the ticks. And of course you could you could make this into a conspiracy theory. Enough. That the government, and we all know the government is the ones that put the ticks out there, right? We're all tracking that. There's something out there that talks about it. And then they got the sicko gates about and trying to make fake meat and shit. Now here's the thing. Even these silly ass ticks, why did they put them out into the, what was the purpose of this experiment, right? Ticks are awful. Every year, I have gotten one. I got a video out there of me discovering one that had been on me. You don't feel them. If you're not in an environment where you're, conscientious that you're going to get one, you'll get one and not know you got one until that fucker's big. And then you'll feel an itch. And you'll be like, what the fuck is that? Yeah, that's what I had. And mine was a Lone Star. I was able to pluck that fucker off, and I zoomed in and took a picture of it. Figure out what it was, right? I should have gone to the emergency room. Not knowing anything about the red meat allergy in a Lone Star tick. It's possible. It's not. I don't know if it's an allergy or an aversion. However, I was not a big chicken fan. I go on another video that I did, how I used to do keto, and I lived on ribeyes for God knows how long. And now when I eat ribeye, they just taste like cardboard. I eat anything beef, it just doesn't, it's like, I got nothing, yo. Right? I started eating, I started buying a lot of rotisserie chickens, the deli stuff like you get at the grocery store. They got the pre-made rotisserie chickens. They got the pre-made, unbreaded hot wings, things like that. I started delving more into eating that. One, because it's cheaper. Let's start there. I went and priced it, just shits and giggles, yesterday when I was at the grocery store. I was actually thinking about it. I wonder how much a 6-pack of chicken breasts are. Now, these chicken breasts are freaking huge, right? These are like hyper-fed, gargantuan chickens. I don't know what chicken they came off. That bird had to weigh 30 pounds. Serious. Because you buy a little rotisserie chicken, and the breast is half the size of what you get in one of those 6-pack family pack things, right? We should do a video. So, I priced it, and I'm like, I can get 3 rotisserie chickens for $7.99 a piece. And end up with 6 breasts, 6 wings, 6 drumsticks, and 6 thighs. And I don't have to turn the fucking stove on. Yes, I am known to eat a fucking rotisserie chicken cold. I don't care. Meat is meat to me. It doesn't, I'll shred that shit up and put it in a wrap. However, after being on keto for so long, it's so fucking boring and time consuming. And, after a while, your body kind of starts to revolt. It's like, I want bread. I want bread. I want 1 slice of sourdough. a day. Give me that. You start to become a little bit more creative in your means of cooking if you know how to cook. Everybody should know how to cook to some degree. But if I'm going to save money and time and electricity, let the grocery store do it. I'm gonna buy my 3 rotisserie chickens, take them out of their packaging, put them in Ziplocs, put them in the refrigerator. You get a lot more out of it anyway, right? So, on the cost effectiveness, that's just the byline. You want to save yourself money, probably do it that way. I mean, I can buy the great big ones. I gotta go home, unpackage it, section it all out into plastic bags, and then put it in the freezer. And then when I get time, I gotta thaw it, then I gotta cook it. And that's energy on my stuff. And my spices. And all sorts of other stuff. Whatever. You'll get the idea. Anywho, he was talking about ticks and the red meat allergy. I don't think it's so much an allergy as it is an aversion. And there's so much more going on. He was talking about northern lights. Never once, even when I lived in the state of New York, did I ever see northern lights. And we used to go way north, like Fort Drum area. That's where the gene pool kind of centralized at. And I don't recall seeing them when I was a little kid. I don't recall my parents, like, you know, look up, see the northern light. I don't remember them making note of that to me when I was a child as a memory. You know, to kind of carry with me. I've seen the northern lights, yeah, when I was 5, right? We were out on the ice. Uncles were ice fishing, kind of thing. Nope, never seen them. I was in Germany. They're pretty far north. Nope, never saw them there either. So, any case, he goes on to talk about how there's a shift in time and energy and vibe, and he's not alone. I'm here telling you, there is a shift in the vibe and the energy. I talk about my day. I talk about how I work upwards of 10 to, on the occasional, after 16 hours, right? Maybe it's just my job, but my time seems to fly. It flies. It's not until about the 12-hour mark where I feel like, okay, I'm ready to go home now. And that last hour it doesn't drag. It seems to just be like, and I gotta call dispatch and be like, I'm on 14 hours, yo. Pay attention to the clock, yo. And I'm not the only one he's got to pay attention to. You know, there's like 60 of us, 70, whatever. That he's got to mindfully say, okay, this person came in at this time, he's got to go home. I need him for tonight anyway, get him off the clock. And he's got to go through the board and manage the orders that are actively going on. You know, he's got a lot on his plate. So Jacob was talking about how it's just time feels different. Life feels different. Being attached to your phone all day long feels different. It's just, I started noticing in myself that I can literally get trapped into doom scrolling shorts. And I conscientiously, like, how long have I fucking been on here? Alright? And I've often thought about it. It's like, I need to just lock the phone in a safe. Most of the time, and this is the only time that I find that I don't need my phone, is when when I'm on the bike. I use it for music on the bike. But once I get where I'm going, I put it on a portable charger and I put it in the bag. I have a charging port in the bag. It's just buried on the bottom and it's kind of inconveniently placed, so I don't use it. I use my portable. And I don't ever get on it. If I go, VFW or, I'm on a ride, group ride or whatever, I don't, my phone is not important. I had to go out and get it because I was talking to somebody and I was showing them pictures. My granddaughter, stuff like that. But, other than that, it just, when I'm home, I'm distracted by it. I started talking a little bit about Mandela effect. Yeah, that shit's weird. It's not so much that they changed the logo or the branding or the naming or whatever, but they're gaslighting us to, in saying, oh no, this never existed. The fuck it didn't. We know for a fact it did. Just say, it was a rebrand. We changed the design. Under corporate whatever, we had to do this, that, and the other thing. Makes more sense. Instead of trying to gaslight an entire world population into believing that Stouffer's never made fucking stuffing. We know that was the name of it. It might be owned by Kraft now. Stouffer's might have gone fucking chapter 11 and bye-bye. But you don't have to sit there and fucking try to gaslight the entire universe into thinking it never existed, because it did. Monopoly decided to give, the fucking money guy, the judge or whatever the hell that dude was, monocle boy, a fucking contact lens. Easy. Yeah, we got rid of the monocle. Just fucking admit it. Fruit of the Loom. We decided to axe the cornucopia. Our choice. Move on. I don't know when it all changed. I don't know when all this shit started. Now, they talk about, they call it the Mandela effect because everybody remembers Nelson Mandela dying. I remember that. And then all of a sudden they're saying, okay, the ripe age of whatever. And you're like, didn't he fucking already die like 10 years ago? Am I dreaming? I know I saw it on the news. I'm not stupid. Alright, the Shazam video. Yeah, we saw it on Betamax. Yeah. Did it exist? Yes, it did. There are people out there with the actual original copy. Someone actually had the money to buy it. They still have a copy. So they've tried to gaslight us in some way, shape, or form. Now, is it a legitimate gaslighting, or has it, is he onto something? Is Jacob onto something, thinking, somebody right here? And I agree, somebody right here. And the fact that, there's all these other, metaphysical content creators where they talk about how, like, the universes overlap. Something is, weird, right? It's like timelines crossed or some shit. It's kind of like the paradox effect of someone went back in time and changed something. And not all of us were on that timeline. And we are aware that something is wrong. I can feel it. I know I can feel it. Something is very fucking wrong. A lot of rabbit hole-y shit out there that I'm not the only one. I know that there's hundreds of thousands of people out there who are thinking the same thing. Something wicked this way comes. Yeah, and Breaking Benjamin just came out with a song. He just dropped it. New song. Like, woo-woo! Love Breaking Benjamin. Anyway. Something wicked this way comes. Something wicked this way comes. There's something off. It's something paradoxical. Something just doesn't feel right. He talks about, grasshoppers, not seeing a whole lot of them. Yeah, you don't anymore. Used to live in suburbia growing up. Used to have grasshoppers all over our fucking yard. Right? I don't see them very often anymore. And we used to see them all the time when I was in Texas. And they would be like half the size of your hand. I mean, they were like that big. There's fireflies. I got fireflies in my yard. That I haven't really seen a lot of decrease. Now, I'm in suburbia. Now, out in the country, when we go up to visit the grandparents in their house, it was out in the sticks. Oh yeah, the yard was lit up like a Christmas tree with fireflies. Now, have I been up there, to spend the night and in the summertime and see if it still glows green from little firefly asses lighting up the lawn at night? No. In the last, 40 plus years? No. I haven't. So I wouldn't know if there's a decrease in them. Oh, God. We gotta do something about that channel. That channel on that radio hijacks everybody. Central Plain. But yes, there's something to be said in respects. Yeah, he has a lot of time to think, and he's very active. This Jacob, and he doesn't. If I was sitting home, watching paint dry, or I didn't have an agenda of any kind whatsoever, you would think that you would feel time seem to drag. Like, remember, like, back in the day, you'd be like, man, this day is dragging. It's taking, like, that hour felt like 4 hours kind of thing. Not anymore. That hour feels like 15 minutes. When you're watching the clock is when it slows down. Like, I have that 10-hour rule, right? And there's times where I get to my job and I have to wait. I'm sitting there in the parking lot waiting 5, 6, 7 minutes before I can clock in to be in compliance, right? And I gotta text my damn dispatch man, I'm here. I gotta wait 6 minutes before I can punch it. Yes, ma'am. And in that 6 minutes, if I were to not do something to distract my brain, would feel like eternity. I swear to God. So I have a separate phone where I have my one phone where I have my work app and all that plugged into. And then I have this one that I'm recording at that has games and stuff. And I will play my games to distract my brain from staring at the clock, waiting an entire 6 minutes. Because 6 minutes feels like forever. And that is one concept that I can kind of put a play in to, is that the reason time is flying so fast, or it feels like it's so fast, is because we're distracted. But it's not just with our media, our social media, our phones and things like that. It feels like if I get involved in a task at home, I feel like I am running out of minutes in my life just trying to get anything done. Job aside. It's something in the environment, something in the air, and something in the universe that has shifted. And like quite literally, it's like everybody is feeling the paradoxical effect. And it is weird. And the bug situation is weird. And the decrease in, butterflies and bees and things like that is weird. The increase in the fucking tick population, that one I think is government. But, yeah, because they don't want us eating meat. So they create a bug that if you get bit by it, you get a beef aversion or an allergy. And it's rampant. I mean, it's attacking the fucking wildlife so badly that, they're finding, dead moose and whatnot that are literally inundated with ticks. Inundated. Looking like the fucking Elephant Man with ticks. That's horrifying. That is just straight up horrifying. So, even hunters are being inhibited. We can't even go get our own, wildlife game. We can't go out and shoot elk or whatever without the fear of it being whatever it is we spot in the scope. Once we get up close, that it's not covered head to toe in these fucking things. That kind of shit. It's bad when someone shows a video where a snake. Now, snakes get mites. I had a boa. They do get little mites. But not ticks. And there was a snake out in the wild, covered in ticks. Yes, there's something very wrong here. So yeah, he's definitely, Yes, dude, we share a brain. We track it. Two totally different environments. He lives out in the country. I live out in suburbia. I am working 16 hours a day. He is retired. He has all the free time in the world to take care of his house and whatnot. Me, I'm chasing my own asshole. I mean, I cannot get it together. He probably lives a very substance-free life. I vape and drink. That's my life. I work, vape, and drink. Every now and then I get a wild idea. And I actually make it come into fruition. It's not a regular thing, so I do get a little hyped up when I actually do manage to get something fucking done. So, I am almost to my plant that I need to be at. 31 minutes. That's my talk. Happy hump day, y'all. Oh, before I go, update on my stepdad. He is failing really bad. I think I was talking about this on another video, how his health has just deteriorated over the last couple of years. This past year has been the worst. We spent Christmas in the hospital. Yeah. I don't believe that he's going to make it to Father's Day. Called my mom yesterday and I said, how's he doing? And she says he's gone. It's just been downhill. Downhill since Sunday. She goes, he might make it to his birthday, but it's not going to be long after. It's a steady decline in, and he's such a good man, and he took up for me, and the hospice nurse was just trying to give him a briefing and stuff, and he interjected, because I made a joke about the Foley. She was giving him like a little bit of update about how it's gonna like be uncomfortable, whatever. And I said, it's just a little tickle, Dad. And then he just got to giggling, and so did everybody else. And he's like, that girl there, she drives one of those cement mixers. She's just the bestest, and yada bragging on me. And my mom is just looking and I said, he just likes what I do. He's always had. He's a guy that does concrete finishing. He's known this kid since he was about 3 years old. Ran into him at a job site because they have the same contractor, right? They're built for. And he's like, yes, I met your stepdaughter the other day. He's like, did ya? He's like, she can pour some damn concrete. Yeah. So, basically since then, I've been the queen. In his eyes. Anyway, I got to go. Y'all shut up. You're killing me. Be quiet. Y'all, yakka. Alright. I'll see you later. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing today. I have no idea which project we're working on. He's got me up here. For all I know, I might end up in Kentucky. Who knows? Peace out, y'all.